Alright, so now finally back to this global control and cleaning up the rig. As I mentioned in the previous 2 videos I said I was going to do next. Now we're finally going to do it next. So the global control is really simple. Create NURBS circle. And bring it down. In this case, I'm going to bring it just below the feet. So you can see, I'm just going to bring it just below, or even with the feet, something like that. The bottom of the foot. And I'm going to have it scaled fairly large, maybe a little bit bigger, something like so. And that is going to be our global control. Extremely important, modify, freeze transformations, rename, global CTRL. And now we're going to actually parent the root control to the global control. We're going to parent the foot control to the global control, the other foot control to the global control. And now we should have everything, because the knee controls are parented to the foot controls. Everything should be parented up to this point. So now what I'm going to do is I just want to double check and test when I scale this, everything on the rig should scale properly and accordingly. There should be, everything should scale at the same rate, and it looks like it is. So now I'm also going to add this, add selected objects. Now my controllers are all yellow. I added that to the controller layer I have here. And now that I have that, I want to go ahead and start cleaning up some of the controllers. So I'm going to start with the foot. So I don't need any of the scale X, Y, and Z. I'm not going to need scale, I don't think, on any controllers except the global control. So what we're going to do at this point, we're going to do lock and hide selected. Visibility you can leave there if you'd like. You can lock and hide that one also, but I would recommend keeping it there just in case you ever wanted to turn it off. You can lock it if you'd like and then always unlock it later, but I think it's fine keeping it as is. I'm going to do the same thing for here. Lock and hide these. And as a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and lock it. I believe it might already be locked. But just in case it isn't, now it is. Yep, you see a little sort of pale blue there. I'm going to do the same thing for my knee control. I don't want to scale it. I do want to be able to move it. Even rotation you don't need, because it doesn't control really the rotate. And you see how it doesn't do anything for the rotate. So you can go ahead and lock and hide these. And I'll lock this one. If you want, you can lock and hide that also, but just in case I ever need it again, I'll leave it there. Lock and hide. And modify freeze transformations. Oh. You will not be able to freeze transformations on anything if it's locked and hidden already. So there we go. So we're doing a cleanup pass here. Lock and hide. Lock. Lock and hide. Lock. And I'm just right clicking on these. Okay, and okay. Perfect. I don't need scale. On this one, I do need the translate to move the rig like so, and the rotate, but not the scale. On this one, the only one I need is rotate. So these I'm going to lock and hide, because orient constraint only affects the rotation. and lock. And I'm going to do this for all of these controllers. Lock, and the next one. And as you're doing this, make sure that these are all zeroed out. Lock and hide, lock, lock and hide, lock and hide. Okay. Same thing on these. Lock and hide, lock and hide, and lock. I'll go to the clavicle next. So I did the shoulder. I did all of the spine joints, I guess you could say. Lock and hide, and lock and hide, and lock. Okay. Lock and hide, and lock. Go to the neck next, lock and hide, lock, and lock and hide. Okay, and then I'll do this one. Alright, now go to this one on the other shoulder. Okay, so I'm just gonna stop there. So I still have the elbow, the wrist, and the finger controls to look at. But from here, the only ones that should be showing on the root controller is translate XYZ and rotate XYZ. After that, it should just be rotate all the way up the spine, depending on how many controllers you have for it and joints and things like that. The other thing is the shoulder also just rotate, and the clavicles are also just rotate. Alright, now that being said, the elbow is a one where you could simply just do a rotation where the joint rotates, because the elbow really only rotates one direction. However, because I have full freedom and it is animation, I am going to keep my XYZ there, but sometimes in some occasions you don't want to. You might just want to keep it with just the rotation on the elbow, the correct elbow bend direction. And lock, but it's just a little tip in case. The wrist can rotate in every direction, so I'm going to lock and hide all these. And again, as a reminder, make sure that you have all these zeroed out. Lock. And the finger controls, I don't need any of these, so I don't need X, Y, Z. I don't want to move any of them, so I'm going to lock and hide all of them, and then just lock the visibility. Okay. Here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to keep my XYZ rotate, but again, like I had mentioned, maybe you just want to keep the rotate Y. It's totally up to you, depending on your character, but I'm going to keep them just because those controllers do control something. Lock. And maybe I do want at some point to slightly adjust the elbow going in a weird direction. And the wrist, lock and hide, and lock and hide these, and lock. Okay, and then here, modify freeze transformations, and then I'm going to lock and hide all these. And lock. Okay, and my global control should have everything on, so I shouldn't have any of these locked and hidden. The knee control I already did. I'm just going to run through and double check these. So that is translate and rotate. I don't want to be able to scale any of these because the scale will all happen with this. And when we finally bind the mesh to the rig, the mesh will actually scale with it also. And at which point we'll want to make sure that this is zeroed out all too. Okay. So I'm just going to double check these and then okay. Perfect. I recommend you do the same. And we're good. And make sure everything's zeroed out. So that's creating the global control and then cleaning up the control rig up to this point. We're going to add a few more controls for the face, and we'll get to that soon enough. But altogether, our rig is almost complete. Everything except for the facial animation is completed. So we have our global control, which controls the scale and move and rotate of the entire character. We have the knee controls, we have the foot controls, everything's connected. We have our root control, our spine 1, 2, 3 controls, and then also our chest control. Then we have our clavicles on left and right, our shoulders on left and right, our elbow controls on left and right, and our wrist controls on left and right. We also have the finger controls on left and right, which we've already connected and created the controllers for. And then we have the neck and the head control. And we're going to get very shortly, we're going to start to control the facial animation on this character. So we have a full body rig completed. The last thing we need to do is create the facial controllers and the facial animation aspect of this. That's all I have to cover in this video. That completes the entire body rig and skeleton, and then we're going to get into the face next. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for the next one.